And the mosque committee got together and said, well, actually, that flag outside, that's our flag too, so we're going to put it in our mosque.
I'm here.
There we are, there is the man. Oh my God, you are my hero. You're a national hero. Genuinely, it's so nice to see you. Recognising that at the moment, the Muslim community are at the brunt of some of the ugliest hatred in our society. It's because I have seen firsthand the way in which the voices, the views and the opinions of 4 million Muslims in our country are being sidelined or silenced or marginalised, and we can't stand for that. You think I'm so stupid that I don't realise that when you're done with the Muslims, you're coming for me. It is hard to imagine, literally barely a year on, that kind of reaching across the aisle happening in the same way. In a country that is, before our very eyes, becoming more, not less divided, and where there are those who seek to sow division and exploit division for political ends. And I feel like we've got the fight of our lives on our hands, because the battle lines in British politics are no longer between left and right, they're between right and wrong. They're between progressives and reactionaries, patriots and nationalists, hope not hate. And those of us who know what it is to be different, to be seen as different, to be treated as different, know the fear that inspires. I remember very early on, as the Member of Parliament for Ilford North, a brick being thrown through the window of a Muslim community centre in South Woodford, which at the time was part of my constituency, and bacon had been pinned on the door. And of course, immediately and instinctively, I did what any Member of Parliament would do, what any decent human being would do, which is to condemn it, to recognise that that was a particular targeted attack designed to incite fear in the hearts of Muslims in my community. And I condemned it, called it out, and made sure that something that I felt was shocking and disgusting did not go by without comment and acknowledgement. On the website of the local newspaper, the comments section quickly turned to, why are you leaping to defend these people? They'll throw you off the top of a building because you're gay. And I replied on the same website, see, you clearly think I'm so stupid that I don't realise that when you're done with the Muslims, you're coming for me. And it is worth all of us actually, at this moment in our country, recognising that at the moment, the Muslim community are at the brunt of some of the ugliest hatred in our society. Muslim identity, faith, belonging is being weaponized. And if it weren't the Muslim community, it might be the black community, the Jewish community, where anti-Semitism is on the rise, the LGBT plus community, where we see again hate crime has been rising, and the trans community are particularly feeling the brunt of that hatred and discrimination. And so I think there's a special responsibility actually resting on all of us who know what it is to be discriminated against because of what we look like, who we are, who we love, who we worship. We have to stand together in common cause and solidarity against those that would seek to divide us and drive hatred against us. And then I saw something that replaced the sadness in my heart with hope and humour. Because there's a mosque not too far from here in Ali McGovern's constituency where St George's flag had been hung outside, again designed to send a message to the people who worship inside, this is our flag, not yours. The council came along and did what they do to anything that's hung on railings that shouldn't be there, they took it down. And the mosque committee got together and said, well, actually, that flag outside, that's our flag too, so we're going to put it in our mosque.
I'm here.
There we are, there is the man. Oh my God, you are my hero. You're a national hero. Genuinely, it's so nice to see you. Honestly, I'm sure I speak for everyone here. Like, honestly, like you honestly filled my heart with joy, because like what you guys did in reclaiming your flag, my flag, our flag, that was amazing and it was inspiring. Honestly, thank you so much. It's absolutely amazing. Like, genuinely, it's so good to meet you. And Ali speaks so highly of you guys as well. Honestly, it was like a joyful moment. And that is how we fight back. And that is how we beat hate. We do it with hope. And the reason why Equi's work is so important is because I have seen firsthand the way in which the voices, the views and the opinions of 4 million Muslims in our country are being sidelined or silenced or marginalised, and we can't stand for that. But what does it say to those young people whose Equi's report speaks to and highlights in terms of their experience of violence and violent crime and youth violence? What does it say to young Muslims growing up in Britain today when an amazing young Muslim like Mobeen Hussein, who's done so much for this community and so much for our public service, is attacked in the pages of the mainstream media? What does that say? What does it say when the first Muslim Home Secretary from the Labour Party is greeted online with a wall of hatred and bigotry, not because of what she believes or what she might do, which would be bad enough, just because of who she is and who she worships? We can't let this kind of hatred take hold.